Oh my God, if I die, I'm a legend. When they lay me down to rest, I know I was always.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Nick, also known as Vezatir, once again bringing out another Kingdom Come Deliverance video. It's not a stream, it's a video, and it's gonna be a little bit of an update. So depending on how good this does, I'll do more of these, like whenever they release patch updates or just big updates in general. I will let y'all know when they release, what they are releasing within the patches and the updates. You know, simple fixes or maybe some kind of big update where they add like a whole new storyline. But today we're gonna be talking about DLC and some other things that they that the devs talked about. So Varva, I don't want to, I'm mispronouncing his name definitely, but he had an interview and it was translated to English, and there are a few key points that were brought up. That was probably my phone that you just heard, but there are a few key points that were brought up, including like DLC, long-term support, modding tools, DRM, etc. So we're gonna get into that. And if y'all do enjoy this video, if it helps y'all out, be sure to smash the like button. I will link down this little forum in the description below. And guys, if you haven't watched any Kingdom Come Deliverance videos, or if y'all want to watch a whole live stream, guys, I'm still streaming it currently right now. Just finished part 5. I'm loving the game so far. Be sure to go check out my series. It's in the description below. There's a whole playlist. Sorry, you can binge watch it too. But let's get right into it. Alright, the first thing. They are currently working on a DLC questline where you can play as a woman, and this person and I completely agree. I think Teresa will be the protagonist. So does this person. Their name is Steiger. He's the one that released the forum. And so what do you think about that? I think it'd be very interesting because, you know, this game is set in the 1400s and women basically didn't really have any rights. So I would want to know what they're going to go for, since they're trying to make it as realistic as possible. I also think it'd be interesting. I haven't finished the game yet, so don't spoil anything, but I haven't seen anything with Bianca since the very beginning, since the war, since we got ambushed. So I want maybe the lead's going to be Bianca, and we're going to find out what happened to her. Maybe she became some kind of like monk or something. Who knows? Even though I doubt that would, because that doesn't really make sense. But we'll see. They are planning for long-term support of the game. They have 10 dedicated people watching streams and forums to get as much feedback as possible for fixing bugs and stuff like that. Apparently, they never saw the flying dragon kick bug before it was recorded, which, if y'all haven't seen that, it's pretty funny actually. It just kind of comes at you and the dude just kicks you. It's pretty cool actually. I actually like it. I wish they would kind of keep it in there, or like make some kind of meme out of it or something. I like it a lot, but it is very buggy. Optimization is still pretty poor, but I have nothing but respect for the team for what they've done and what the story and the writing and the graphics, the world in general. The game is great. I'm loving it so far. He said as far as modding, which from this video, there are already mods on the game, on the computer version. I don't know about the PS4 version or the Xbox version. They don't have mods yet. I don't know if they're going to release that in the future, but this is what they say. As far as modding, he says they did not have time before launch to look into it into detail, but now they will investigate how possible it will be to release some tools. They rewrote most of the Cry engine, but are not sure what they can release from the legal standpoint, so it's going to take some negotiation. So nothing set in stone, but there are already mods for the computer version, including like where you can save the game wherever you want, which is a big mod. I wish that we had on the PS4 and Xbox, considering you can only save whenever you get to a bathhouse, sleep in your bed, finish like a big mission or something like that, a checkpoint, or you have your save your snaps, which is like this alcoholic drink, which also that's whenever you can save the game whenever you want, but they're not very occurring. You don't have them very much. So the making of the documentary was delayed because they wanted to include the launch time before, after, feedback and reactions, etc. like that. So there will be a documentary, kind of like what they've been doing on their YouTube channel leading up to the game. The R&D they made and the tools they developed should make development of the future game significantly less difficult and faster. They are looking into crowdfunding for the game in the future. He brought up Swinvink and how they did Kickstarter for Original Sin 2, even though the first one made a lot of money. They said that crowdfunding is a good way to measure interest, build a relationship with fans, you know, etc. Another key thing is check voice acting. They didn't want it, or they did want it, but the game has 110 hours of voice acting. That's a lot of voice acting. In real terms, it would probably take like 3 months of work, of 5 directors, 3 audio engineers, 50 actors, a ton of Q&A, and he questions if the opportunity cost would be worth it, since it would mean not being able to do the other stuff that might be more important / useful, kind of like including some blacksmithing into it, because there are a few key points that they wanted to add, like blacksmithing, considering you're a blacksmith's son, but they didn't have time to really work on it the way that he wanted to do it. So that's that. And then before starting the company, after leaving 2K, which is where the guy that created the company was originally from, he spent 2 years reading and studying historical literature, and he describes how he had to write a 80-page manual about medieval clothing for the artist because the clothing was completely different with the different names, etc. Then he had to find a specific professional who dealt with this as a vocation to find all the flaws and errors anyway. In total, around 20 people were consulted regarding various specific things, so they just kind of like goes into how much work they really put into making this realistic into the 1400s of Bohemia, which is today Czech Republic, which is where this guy is from. He didn't want to do the Hussite Wars right away because it would be too much. So the Hussite Wars is this huge battle and wars, but they didn't want to do it because it would be it would take a lot of money, a lot of time, and they didn't really have all that at the time, so they searched for smaller interesting events and locations where they took place and found the first invasion of Sigismund, which provided good background for the game. The burning of silver scallops actually happened, and it served as a good starting point. But it also says the time period was also selected because it was just before advent of guns, which they didn't want, but right after the golden years of Charles IV's reign. I searched it. The Battle of Scallops, the Silver Scallops, was a real battle. It actually happened. They actually got ambushed and massacred pretty much. However, it was in the 1800s and not the 1400s, so they just kind of switched the eras because they didn't want guns to be in the game. And then they came up with the idea for a teleshopping advert, which they actually intended to run it on a German TV, like real teleshopping, but they didn't have the time. And then the last key little point is that they talk about the futility of DRM and that it is useless anyway, so they didn't bother. He didn't know about the online check F up, language. Don't really family friendly channel here, but it confirms it was unintentional. So that is pretty much the 90-minute interview with Varva, with Warhorse Studios devs. So I hope y'all enjoyed. Tell me what y'all think about the DLC that we'll be releasing. It's pretty much guaranteed. I don't know if it's gonna be pay or free, but if it's paid, kind of like how The Witcher did their DLC, would y'all buy it? That's my question. Would y'all buy it if it was a pay to play for the DLC? I would. So far, I haven't finished the game, but so far I definitely would. Guys, I hope y'all enjoyed. Comment, like, and subscribe if y'all did. Be sure to smash that like button so I know that y'all will like more of these update videos, kind of like when patches come out or updates and stuff like that. So I'll see y'all later, guys. Peace out.
Blame it on the goose, got you feeling loose. Blame it on the drum, got you in the zone. Blame it on the alcohol. Blame it on the alcohol. She said she usually